Hello to everyone. I'm very happy to be here in Moscow. And I have the most difficult part for this presentation because not only I come last, and after all this very interesting and detailed presentation, I have also to be short because I guess that all of you are expecting the coffee break. So I'll try to make it entertaining and very specific to give you some images of what's going on in Europe and especially of Italy, which is a very active country for connected TVs and especially for mobile TV. So as we mentioned, Mobibase very quickly, we are a very small company compared to my previous colleagues. We are based in France and we are a connected TV publisher. We publish 150 channels with only 25 people and only a budget of $4 million. So this is interesting in a sense that today, through the internet and connected devices, through the business model of the revenue share with the producers, you're able to bring 150 TV channels to the world with worldwide rights and on HD quality. So this is a break in the business model. This is confronting the traditional model of the broadcasting. And this is why it's quite interesting to get into the details of these studies. As I mentioned, we chose Italy because Italy is a middle-sized market in Europe, much smaller than Russia, of course. But with 60 million people, Italy has one of the highest penetration rate, a very good 3G coverage, and a prepaid rate of 85% and an average ARPU of around 20 euro. You have 4 main operators, which are TIM, Vodafone, Wind, and H3G, with the 2 main operators gathering 70% of the market. The VAS, in like many other European countries, it's still low, the VAS revenue, but of course is increasing in terms of new services launched, which are of course very much based on streaming. And you can see that the data revenues are also increasing. When we talk about connected TV, we had many examples in the previous presentation, but we should really understand that television today is a linear stream or a VOD selection brought in streaming, but it's a channel, and each channel can be brought in different profiles to different devices, which are, of course, the feature phones, the smartphones, tablets, laptop. We all talk about IPTV, smart TVs, but also all the new connected devices like the DVX or also the game consoles, which are very important, especially for the young market. So it means that when you think television, you think of a linear selection or VOD selection of content, which can be brought to all these devices. So when you talk also about the different platforms, you talk about the web, you talk about web applications, the operators' portals, and the different application stores. And in fact, when you look at this market, you find 3 categories of players, which are, of course, the traditional mobile operators, but we should not forget them because we didn't mention them so much today. They are the mobile service providers. And these companies are very important to push the new models, the new revenues, the new applications for these connected services. And on the Italian market, you find 4 main companies, and 3 of them are actually international companies, mentioning Acotel, Neomobile, and Buongiorno. And again, I will always mention these companies because operators, they are big, they need time to bring new services, new ideas, but these publishers are seeking for new models and very often are innovative, not only in terms of offer, but also in terms of marketing. We should not forget the broadcasters, which are also important because they try to expand or to follow the trend and the development of the terminals, bringing their channels to new terminals. But one kind of player which is not here, but which is coming up the value chain, they are the producers. Producers, thanks to the new technologies, thanks to the facility of the internet-connected TV, tend to bring their content directly to the end user. And I should mention Turkey, where I was like last week, and where we've been partnering with the largest film distributor called Horizon to create a project called Turkish TV, bringing a Turkish TV film, a Turkish TV cooking, a Turkish TV leisure to the global markets, bringing a very interesting situation where a producer or a distributor of film is coming up the value chain to bring value on the internet-connected market. Very quickly here, you have this in your documents. This is a view of the different mobile TV offers, which are brought by the operators themselves. What is important to view here is that these services are cheaper than the other players. They're on average €5 per month. And also what is interesting to notice is that they bring usually existing TV channels in small numbers. When you come to these mobile service distributors, I was mentioning before, I give here the three examples of Acotel, No Mobile, and Lenshow Entertainment. These three companies have chosen, each of them, to launch mobile TV bouquet, and we can see that the models are quite similar, and especially similar in terms of business model and prices. It's about like €6 per week in a renewal model, and on average, they have a dozen of channels, except for Neo Mobile. And also what is interesting, and we didn't mention it because we were with a large operator, but the market of sexy content is very important. For Telecom Italia on mobile TV, it's about 1/3 of the revenue. So it's usually not mentioned in the conferences for reasons you can understand, but it's always a market to consider. And last is the description of the mobile TV by the broadcasters themselves, and you have the details here. About the services themselves, I've chosen one service to give you an idea of how, I would call it a simple mobile TV service launched within operators can bring fair revenues. We have here the Funny TV, which is the all-audience service of Acotel brought to all Italian operators. This service is brought into VOD and is made of a selection of different channels. The selection of this channel is quite interesting. For example, you have a cooking channel which makes the first audience. And in a few European countries, you find out that all audience channels in mobile TV, cooking TV, is the number one audience. And what do you find? You find also, of course, the cartoons, the beauty tips, of course football, but because all over Europe, men tend to like football, some glamour content, and some, I would call event content like Olympics or whatever. What is interesting, of course, also is how this service performed. You can see that over a year, this service has been launched like a year and a half ago. Over a year, the service has experienced a constant growth. And in 2012, the total revenue of this service was €1 million and is expected to reach €12 million by the end of next year. So, to make it short and to keep in the time, Um, we have listed here what we believe have been the key success of the development of mobile TV in Italy, which you should remember is brought by all operators, all mobile service providers, and all main broadcasters. The first thing is multi-device services, means that when you bring connected TV, these services can be seen on web, on device, and soon on smart TV through Google App or whatever. The second one is, of course, localized TV channels, means that if you can bring a selection of no language services or international content services, it's of course important to bring these channels in the local languages. The third aspect we have discussed today is the thematics. As our colleagues presented before, we should always remember that people want to have the choice, but they don't want to choose. So it means that you should have some thematics which are ready to view. And all the services which have brought very clear thematics to the audience, very clear thematics to their marketing, have been successful. The fourth point of the success, the fourth reason of the success, is to bring what we call high-value content, but high-value content is not only the blockbusters. High-value content could be very much related to the events, and last year has been very rich with the football, the London Olympics, and the Euro Cup. And last but not least, as I mentioned, is to bring sexy channels which are not only easy to market, but easy to bring extra revenues. So, to conclude, we are coming, of course, to the Russian market, and the Russian market is starting to grow on streaming services, like everywhere in Europe. Streaming services are booming in India. The mobile TV has been multiplied in terms of audience and revenue by 10 in 6 months. The same in Turkey, the same in Tunisia, the same in Kenya. So Russia will experience the same growth for mobile TV and other connected services. But of course, some key points seems to be important, like in any other country. And these points are the one I developed, is like to bring rich TV bouquet, to bring, of course, strong promotion around the thematics, because marketing is, like everywhere on this market, key. Not only content is key, but marketing is key. This is why the mobile service provider in Russia will probably play a very important part in the development of mobile TV on the first step and on connected TV on the second step. Prices is to find the right prices, and we give here the average price you can find in the different European countries, which are between 3 and 5 euro per week. And it's also important, of course, to bring these channels in Russian languages, but we found out that also sometimes channels with no text, like cartoon channels, candid camera channels, have been like very successful. And of course, it's important to prefer thematic channels than only the existing channels, because once again, people want to have the choice, they don't want to choose. So you should bring the right thematic to the right services. Thank you very much, and I'm open to your questions.
Спасибо большое.
Thank you very much. I would like to ask a question. From your viewpoint, we have said a lot about the ecosystem of connected TV today, comprising operators, producers, aggregators, and a number of other players. Who of them will be a leader, will lead the way developing this ecosystem in the short run? Who of them will be the leader? Who of the different players that we see on the market today, including operators, content producers, aggregators and providers, standard developers. Who of them will be acting as a leader in the development of the overall connected TV ecosystem in the next years? You are one of such players. Who will lead the way?
So what is important is when the two are working together. If I take the example of Turkey, you can see that mobile TV has been brought to the market through VOD offer by Turkcell, followed by some mobile service provider like Tikle and Neomobile and Buongiorno for Turkey and Flycell. This, I would say, this push of the mobile service providers on the market was like an incentive for the mobile operators to follow behind. And to mention Turkcell again, they are planning for next July to launch a triple play offer where you will find all the TV channels, all the VOD offer, both on IPTV, mobile TV and web. So the answer is a mixed offer. As usual, operators take more time to bring the innovative services to the market, but the mobile service providers working with the operators, and it's very important that the two work together because, for example, if you take the question of the billing, you cannot have the development of very good connected services without internet data plan to allow the end user to browse and on these services with having expensive bills on data.
Спасибо. Есть еще вопросы, коллеги?
Colleagues, are there any more questions? Please use the microphone. Don't forget to introduce yourself. My name is Andrei Holodny. Good morning. Have you seen any interdependence between the consumption of mobile TV and a mobile platform such as iOS or Android or stuff like this? Is there any dependence between them?
Yes, of course. Mobile TV, as you know, was launched in 2004 or something. In France, Orange launched a 64 channel in 2004. And all operators were complaining it's not working, people don't use it. And this is really with the iPhone and the smartphone that the usage of videos on mobile started to take off. And this is the widespread of smartphones over markets, plus the development of good 3G network for a good usage of the viewing, plus operators' data pack, which made the market taking off. So, of course, as you said, that there is a correlation, but it's also getting these three important points together, which makes the service taking off. But one thing which is sure, it's mobile TV streaming services are taking off everywhere. We are in Latin America, where like every day we have requests for mobile TV offers. I mentioned India. We have a request from Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia. So basically, usage on video on mobile devices is so widespread that everyone is seeking, everyone means operators now, and mobile service providers are seeking to bring services on this field to generate extra revenue and extra ARPU.
Thank you very much. Спасибо. Еще один вопрос.
One more question. I am Alexis Yursky from MTS. While the availability of SLAs is a sign of mature market, what kind of SLAs exist between operators and content providers and operators and subscribers? Service level agreements.
About the SLA, there's the question of the SLA in terms of which quality do you bring to the end user. And the SLA they can be on the platform side. If you have a Huawei platform, then this is a commitment between Huawei and the operators. But for example, in our case, we stream directly to the markets. Or we stream in relay. For example, in India, if you don't have a license, you cannot stream directly to the Indian market. So we stream in relay. So we carry the SLA. And, but actually, on this level, I would say that innovation is more important than size. Sometimes size matter. And for example, we had tests in Bolivia with Tigo, which had, sorry if there are some Huawei people here, but they were very unhappy of the quality of the Huawei platform, which is amazing platform to do everything, but when it comes to the quality of encoding on large number of profiles, you need to address, I would say, some platform which have been doing this and develop innovation. For example, our platform, we have 200 channels. We stream on average 5 profiles per channel, so it makes to stream 1,000 profiles at the same time. So you need innovation to be able to have high quality of delivery to the end user. And this is key, of course.
Может быть, несколько примеров более конкретных? Вот как...
Will you give us a number of more specific examples, maybe some figures regarding this?
Regarding, you mean SLA? Figures, you mean the 99.99?
Something like that.
This is the 99.99. But if we want to discuss this like more technical aspect, we can just discuss it together after.
Спасибо большое. Коллеги, давайте...
Thank you very much.